Hello and welcome to the Teens Place. So, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about healthy relationships and the effect of these relationships in the life of a teenager. With me here is
Esther,
Esther. Welcome to the show.
thank you.
Um, what does a healthy, God-centered relationship or friendship, or why I'm using relationship is because it's general.
Sure.
What does a healthy God centered relationship mean to you?
Okay. Everybody knows that relationship is an indispensable part of a person's life. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody needs everybody.
yeah,
Everybody needs someone at some point in their life, at one point or the other. So it becomes very imperative that we make the right decisions of the people we have around us because it goes to a very large extent in determining how far we'll go or how far our lives can go and how better our lives can get. Very important. So because God is the center of everything and God created us and then we cannot just put God out of the picture. Even though some persons do, which makes them end up rascals or you get
yeah,
because
yeah.
they've not found God. So if any person wants to go far in life, the person has to put God first. The person has to prioritize God. So I said all of that to say this. It's important that a person has God centered relationships. Like when making your choice of friend, when making your choice of partner, when making your choice of everything in life, God has to be the priority. So, what God thinks of everything is very, very important and cannot be done without. So, a God centered relationship, I would say, is one that has God in the middle, one that is very interested in what God says about who they want as friends, what God says about what they do in their friendship, in their relationship, what God thinks about the choices they make, right? So, when choosing a friend, when choosing a companion, when choosing a relationship, a relationship, whatever sort, it's very important that you define what your relationship is about. And it's also very important that God becomes the head and the center of what you are about to do. So that way everything that you do revolves around making God very happy, making God excited and advancement of the kingdom of God.
Okay. How do you think we can communicate our boundaries following what you just said in a relationship or in making friends or meeting people without actually being very rude or seeming like a bad person?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's this saying that evil communication corrupts good manners. So we've heard stories about people that came from good backgrounds and then because their peers, have opposite characters as them. Because and also maybe because they were not really very rooted in what they were taught and all of that, they end up becoming like their friends, you know. So if someone makes a friend, if someone gets into a relationship that they are not really very comfortable with, and then maybe they are planning to leave, but they don't know how to leave because first off, you don't want to look like you're not into what they are doing. You're not
Yeah.
up to date with the happenings
Yeah,
and
or maybe
stuff.
you are
You're a
just,
Jew guy, you're
yes,
a Jew
something like
girl.
that.
But then that's not what it's about. It's just because it's in contrast with your values, it's in contrast with what you represent. And then you're trying to tell them that, okay, this relationship is not really working for me. Oh. I want to leave, or because I've tried changing you guys and it's not working, I just have to, like, for my own safety and stuff. You're trying to communicate that and you don't know the best way to put it, just so you don't sound rude, just so you don't sound like you're going to upset someone or something. It's very simple. When you find yourself in that kind of situation, just like, first of all, as a Christian, I would advise you pray for them. Pray for them from your heart that God will change them. And then if you notice that nothing is really happening, the best thing is to flee. The best thing is to flee, to abstain. But then you can do that in a more communicable way because they are your friends or because they were your friends. You can just be like, okay, you see this thing is not really giving me what I want. This is what I want to do. This was my intention of making you my friend. This was my intention of getting into this relationship. But because it's not really giving me that thing, like that value that I need, I'm not getting it. You understand? You can just be like, okay, because this thing is not happening the way I planned or intended, I might have to like withdraw. I'm not saying we're going to become enemies, no, but then we can still be friends, but maybe not as close. Do you understand? Maybe not as close. I mean, I like you, I love you, you're my friend, but then you're not adding value to me. So I don't really see the essence if I'm not getting better. So we can still be friends, yes, but maybe from a distance this time around.
Okay.
I don't think that hurts.
Well, it actually will hurt some persons.
Yes, but we just have to give up some things sometimes, especially when you're not getting better. That is important because you cannot remain at a particular spot for so long without you getting improved, getting advanced, getting better, you know. And you cannot, because your friend is feeling bad, keep following them or keep,
Yeah.
maintaining that relationship when you know that like something is wrong, something is not just right,
Yeah.
because you want to preserve the person's
You
happiness.
keep being
You keep being
stagnant.
stagnant,
Yes.
and you're getting bad, worse by the day.
Okay. So I want to use this example. Actually, it's a story from somebody.
Okay.
The person has a friend, like they have been close for a very long time. Like, let's say, I don't know the duration, but according to what the person told me, he said they have been close for a very long time. And then all of a sudden, the other person got advanced in the sense of finances, just a whole lot of other things, but it was majorly finances. So it says seeming like both of them they were not in the same class or the same level, or like when you have a
Yes.
rich friend and you are the poor
Yeah.
person, that kind of stuff. And the things that appearing in the other person's behavior, the way the person communicates was no more how they were communicating before. The way they were talking was no more, everything changed. And the guy in question that was relating the story to me, he was like, he tried communicating, asking what was happening, but the other person was not, giving a positive answer. The person might just ghost for like a period of months, maybe 3 months, and then come back to say, I'm sorry, that kind of thing. So at some point, the guy thought it wise to, level up. Not like he was not trying,
Yeah.
but it was as if the other guy's process was quicker. So he was trying, okay, you know what, put me through to what you are doing, help me. And but the guy was always making it look like he was so busy and he was a nuisance to him. So after a lot of thoughts and every other thing, he just decided to put down a text to this person. I was like, you see, I've been trying to meet up with you for some reasons, and you've been telling me you're busy, you're busy. I've told you this thing for as long as I can remember. And if you had actually put it into consideration that okay, this my friend has been wanting to meet me, you would have created out a time from your schedule and a whole lot of other stuff. This is how I feel in case you don't have time to talk to me. But I'm just letting you know that this is how I feel. I feel like you're treating me like I don't amount to nothing, that kind of talk. And how the guy he just summarized how the guy has been treating him.
Mm.
And the guy didn't respond. He didn't say anything. And even in the midst of that silence, he was also trying to reach out and know what's up. At least I told you something. You don't just keep quiet on me and a whole lot of other stuff. Now the guy is saying this thing so that he will know what he can do in that situation. If he should keep reaching out to the guy or just stay back and focus more on himself and let the guy be.
Okay. I believe that everybody makes progress at their own pace. The pace at which you get better may not be the same pace that I will get better or this other person. And it happens in every wise. You know how they say that when a teacher is teaching in class, not every student gets it at the same rate
Time.
at the same
Yeah.
time. So this person might have to read and read and read for them to like get it properly. This person might just have to listen for the first time and then it sticks. So the same thing happens all the time in almost everything. So if this person that you're talking about now, the guy may not, maybe they went to the same classes, they learned the same skill, maybe data analysis, just something, or maybe not. But this person becoming financially stable before this person does not mean anything because they are friends. It's only normal that this person that okay has already gotten there, so to say, before this person puts his or her friend through. But since reverse is the case, and this person has been trying to reach out for a long time and is now looking as though you're disturbing somebody, when you consistently reach out and then you're not getting the kind of response you want, at some point the guy gets tired. At some point the guy doesn't want it to look like, okay, this guy, I'm disturbing this guy and stuff like that. I would advise the guy leaves, because it's not just this other guy doing whatever he's doing to give him money. And then I believe that they were not friends before. Somehow they came close and then they built a relationship. So the same way he made this guy his friend, he can also find someone, if he's interested in what that guy is doing to make money, he can find someone else that is doing the same thing. If he's not interested in that particular skill or whatever the guy does to get money, he can find somewhere else. He can find another maybe business or something to give him money. He can just find another mentor to put him through.
Okay.
No one person does one particular thing. If you find someone doing this thing, there are several other persons doing it, even more than whoever it is that is doing it and feeling like he's on top of the world and stuff. So I would kindly advise that the guy finds someone else to mentor him financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then dump the relationship or the friendship.
Because it's looking like the relationship is now becoming a burden. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Relationship is meant to communicate. Like communication is one of the key things in relationship. So when communication is lost, you've lost almost the entire relationship. Because when I'm calling you and you're not taking my calls, when I'm calling you and it's as though I'm disturbing you, you're always busy and busy and busy, and then I need your help. What is friendship when you cannot be able to help me when I'm in need of you? Like when I'm in dire need of you, I'm calling you and I call you the first time, you're busy. I call you the second time, you're busy, and I keep calling consistently, and the response is not always. The friendship is no longer there because the key ingredient has been lost. That's communication. So they could still be friends, as in hello, hi. I'm not saying they should be enemies, no. But then that thing, that connection, that communication that is key, because that salt is no longer there, because it's no longer there, the key thing in that relationship is lost. So we can still be friends, hello, hi, but that connection and that communication is no longer there.
Okay. Then I have another story.
Okay.
But this time around, it's one person not knowing how to communicate. Like it's more like I'll just summarize the story.
Mhm.
It's more like we're friends like now, and you did something that I don't like, and you've been doing it consistently. And at some point, we shifted in distance because of one reason or the other,
Mhm.
and it's just as if it looks like what you can't do with me, I see you doing it with other people. And then what you've been doing before that, okay, I've been trying to like pretend like it's not there. You keep doing it consistently, and then I just go quiet on you. Do you think it's proper or just
You cannot say you're my friend when you're not free to tell me things. Like when you're not free to open up to me, to tell me things that will help me get better, or things that you think can help me become a better version of myself. But then you go outside telling it to other people. No, you're not my friend if that is the case. So if whatever form of communication it is, even if it's like sharing maybe things that are going on in your life, I believe that a friend is supposed to be able to open up to her friend, open up to his friend, to tell him things that they are going through. I understand that some persons don't really have that, you know, opening up thing, especially introverts, they find it very difficult to talk. So a friend helps a friend overcome their fears. A friend helps a friend overcome their imperfections, if not absolutely, at least to a very large extent. So if you're my friend, I'm going to have to check, because we've been together for like 3 months. Am I better than I was the past 3 months before I met you? If I was not able to speak up, if I had inferiority complex before I met you, okay, maybe because I made you my friend, because I see that you have this outspokenness that I do not have. So I made you my friend because I'm trying to imbibe that thing that you have. And I see that coming close to you is going to go a very large extent in helping me overcome that my inferiority complex. So that's why I made you my friend. So if I see that for the past 3 months, I've not really been able to overcome that thing and I'm still struggling with it. Meanwhile, I know that coming close to you is going to like help me and I'm not seeing that thing. What's the point? Do you get?
Yes.
So someone communicating to other people and me that is her friend, me that is his friend, he doesn't talk to me as he does other people. He tells them things, he shows them the way, and myself, I keep struggling because maybe he feels like I should know. But do I know and I'm coming to tell you about it? Do you understand?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's just the case. The person can actually come out clean, come out clear. Okay, see what's happening. I may not have told you, but see, I'm struggling with this thing. Inferiority complex as an instance, because I used to like I it beats me, it beats me so much.
Yeah.
So maybe someone has inferiority complex and I find it difficult to express myself. I'm always, and I found out that you yourself, you're very outspoken. You can tell people things to their face, not to insult them or anything, but it's just that you're very bold, brave, and
Yeah, more
confident.
like constructive criticism.
Thank you. So exactly. So, and then I come to you and I tell you those things. If I find out that you're not really helping me, especially because you go outside and you help people, and me that is a very close friend, I'm still struggling, I'm still fighting. You get, I can just come to you as my friend. I'll call you one day and be like, okay, see you, I'm going through this thing. I may not have told you, but I thought somehow you'd figure out. But since you did not, let me just tell you now. I've been struggling with this thing for a while, and I don't know if there's a way you can help me because I've seen you do it for people, and just help me. Come out clear, tell the person, let them be aware. Don't just assume they should know. Let them be aware that you're going through that thing. Let them know. So that way, they may not know because you don't know what people are thinking, you don't know what people have in mind. So just come out and tell them. It's different when you don't tell them about it, and it's different when you don't tell them about it, and when you tell them and they don't really do anything about it. Do you
Mm,
understand?
yes.
So
How do you think a person can attract friends that have the same value with them, or their values aligned together? Because most of the times people will tell you that I can't go out with this person because um our values don't align, or someone will tell you that it's as if I'm attracting the opposite of what I want in a person, or what I want in a friendship or a relationship. So how do you think people can get to attract the people that they have the same values?
okay, many a times I hear people say, and I've actually see it happen anyways, that you attract your kind. You attract your kind. Whoever you are, whatever qualities you display, whatever things you do, you find out that it becomes very easy for you to attract the people that do the same thing that you do, the people that have like minds with you, the people that have same values with you. I know it doesn't really happen all the time, but then it happens most of the time. So being able to attract people that have the same value, the same mindset, and the same everything with you, I believe it starts from you becoming what you want to see in other people. It's just like um two persons that want to get married. You're trusting God for a husband that is caring. Are you caring? You're trusting God for a husband that um is financially stable. Are you financially stable? Even if you don't have it all, do you have something you can bring at least? You're trusting God for someone that is God fearing, someone that helps you get better. How much do you help people get better? Are you God fearing? Are you what you want to see in people? So those values that you want in your friends, those values that you want in people you want to call friends, you have to first of all become them. It's not just about saying, okay, I want this, I want someone that has this, I want someone that has that. You have to have that thing. When you have that thing, automatically it happens so naturally. You find out that you attract people that have the same thing that you have. So if it happens that you attract the opposite kind, it's most of the times it's because you don't have that thing you're yearning for. You don't have that thing that you want. So you now intentionally work on becoming what you want to see. You find out that automatically you begin to attract people that have the same mindset as you. Maybe not in entirety, but at least to a large extent.
How do you think one can manage peer pressure in a relationship?
Okay. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is actually one of the things that, you know, these Gen Zs and the most recent generation is suffering from. It's a very, very delicate situation where you cannot be yourself. You tend to imbibe the characters of people around you, and then you don't even really have a say. You just, okay, this person says this is the way it should be, you take it in. This person says, okay, this is the way it should be, you take it in, not minding your own personal belief, your own personal values, your own personal whatever consecration, what you believe. You no longer have a say.
Yeah.
So you tend to act based on what people around you believe, what people around you do, what people around you say. So it's an issue that has to be addressed. And I believe every teenager should try to work on peer pressure, especially people that are going through it. It's a very, very delicate situation. Okay, there are actually four laws of success. The first law is grace. Grace is grace comes from God. Grace is free. The second one is character. Grace is actually 2%. Character is 4%. Character 40%. Sorry, character and discipline. Then your ability to like your ability to keep what you've what you've learned, what you've taught. That one is 8%. What you've been taught. I mean, then environment, which talks about friends and people around you, has a larger chunk. That's 50%.
Yeah.
So it tells me that people around us, friends around us, our environment influences us to a very, very large extent. So one can overcome peer pressure by setting boundaries, having values. Okay, this is who I am, defining yourself. This is me. This is what I want for myself. This is how far I want to get. These are the things that drive me. So that way, even if I find myself in a situation where not everybody around me has those values, I can be able to sail. I can be able to find myself, you know, still very much intact. And because I'm still intact, I can influence people around me because my values are stronger than whatever they believe. But then if I find myself in a situation whereby I'm trying to change these people and it's not really working, I might opt to leave. So one of the ways of taking care of peer pressure is defining yourself, telling yourself, "This is me. This is me. I'm not going to smoke. I don't smoke. I don't indulge in immoral activities. I am bold. I am confident. I am a Christian. I am a child of God. I do the things that Jesus would do if he was here." And defining those things and letting it sink into you that you cannot just go out of these things you say you are. So I believe that's the first step,
Okay.
defining yourself. So if you find yourself in a situation whereby the people around you don't really, their characters do not tally with what you believe in, you can, because you love them, because they are your friends, and somehow, one way or the other, they must have added to you, maybe not to a large extent, but at least something. I believe it should like drive you to help them get better. But if in a situation whereby you've tried and it's not just working, like I said, you might opt to leave. Yes.
Um, what do you think or what do you think about platonic friendship? I was discussing with somebody the other time, and he told me that there should be a balance in friendship or relationship, because in general term. So, what do you think about platonic friendship? People will be like, okay, this person is my friend, platonic friendship, this, and platonic friendship happens with the opposite gender. What do you think about it? Do you think it's something that people should imbibe, irrespective of the balance that should be attributed to friendship?
Anybody could be your friend. I could find it very easy to trust a guy that is my very good friend. Probably because we grew up together. I know this guy so well, you know, and I just know that. And it's very important to also note that you don't just become so free and so loose that you put yourself in, because devil can actually use anybody. You get.
Yes.
So platonic friendships, I'm not going to say they are bad, because one can have male friends, one can have female friends. I mean, opposite gender relationship, and then there's nothing going on. So I can find a guy more comfortable to roll with. I can find a guy easier to communicate to and all that. But the primary thing is to ensure that there are boundaries. The primary thing is to ensure that there are boundaries that define our relationship, what we have. So because this person is a guy and he's a grown guy, and I'm a girl, I'm a grown girl, we're not going to dispute the fact that anything can happen. So that's why we have to like put those boundaries together and to make sure they stand. So
Okay.
we're not going to be found together in a room by so time. We're not going to like make calls so time. We're not going to be together, like, all those plenty things. Just set boundaries and let him know, let her know that this is what drives this relationship, so that we don't get to a point where we lose ourselves and anything happens. Platonic relationships are not bad, but then they are best when there are guidelines, where there are principles, where there are boundaries that guide and secure our relationships. Conclusively, I I would say, and I would strongly advise that Jesus becomes the center of every relationship. That's very key, because doing what Jesus would have done if he were to be here, like checking what he would do every step of the way as the relationship goes on, is going to go a very long way in keeping and sustaining the relationship in a godly manner. Because when God becomes the center of everything, it never goes wrong.
Yeah.
So I would advise every teenager, I would advise every youth, I would advise everybody that is intending to make friends, that's intending to go into any sort of relationship, to make sure that they are doing it in a way Jesus would have done it. That's very primary. Because if we put that in our mind, if we put that in one of our major checklists, we are never going to make the wrong decisions. So it's also primary to pray before, it's also important to pray before we make such decisions, to pray fervently, because like I said, environment goes a long way in defining who a person is. So check an environment where, or check a place where a person makes friends that are like Jesus. A person makes friends that, you know, have the same kind of values, have the same kind of beliefs, have the same kind of, mindset as you do as a Christian. That relationship is going to be heavenly, and God is going to find a place to rest in their relationship. And generally, they are going to become very substantial in transforming the society.
Okay, thank you very, very much for sharing your knowledge with us on how to keep and maintain relationships among teenagers. And I believe this also applies to everybody that is not also a teenager. Thank you very much for being our honorable guest. God bless you.